Hi, welcome back to the next part on the 1997 Polaris Touring rebuild. So the last time we spoke, or the last video, we saw that the fuel pickup line in the gas tank was missing. So since then, I've got some new parts, and let me show you what I got here. So right here, this is the new fuel line that's going to be in the tank. It's supposed to be gasoline resistant, and right here is the gasoline pre-filter or screen filter. This is the part number right here, part number 414-86 or M007-249. Anyway, that's the barcode for that. So this hose is going to connect onto this filter, and then this will connect on this side. So without further delay, let's get started and get this thing installed. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to route the fuel line through the gas tank, and I'm hoping that by using this tool, it's just basically a piece of this is basically a piece of graphite that from an old tent with a little hook on the end taped. I hope I'll be able to fish the line out through the gas filler so that I can attach the filter. So I'm going to start by running this in here. Use my extension light. Hopefully I can see it come through. Maybe not. I can actually see the line. Okay. So the fuel line is out. Now I'm going to take the screen. There's a spring on this. Just push. Whoops. Push that on. I'm not entirely sure what that spring is supposed to do. Whoops. Don't pull it all the way out of the tank. So I have the fuel line over top of the filter. I think I'm going to install a clamp on here. See if I can install this clamp onto the hose just to make sure that that's loose now. Let's just see what this looks like once I have the hose on the pre-filter. Let's just see if this is worthwhile. That's barely holding, so that's too large. So I'm gonna try and to see if I can get this clamp on the hose just to keep the hose nice and taut, or nice and secure on that filter. So I'll just work this on the pipe first. Install the screen for the 4th time. And then let's just move this over. Let's see if we can get this over. That might be too tight. I don't think this is gonna work. I can try putting this. Nope. So when I installed the screen onto the fuel line, the screen itself went into the pipe very, very easily, and that's okay for the installation. But I'm thinking that once this fuel line is in the tank and it's surrounded by fuel, my experience is that these fuel lines tend to relax a little bit, and I suspected that maybe that the filter may come disconnected from the line. So it's not the prettiest installation, guys, but what I did is I put this mechanical clamp on here. I tried to find the smallest one that I had. So this is the one I found. So I basically got like a clamp that's clamping the hose or the fuel line to the filter right in that space on the pre-filter that has a flat, like right after the barb. So this way, this isn't going to come off at all. So I think this is ready. So I'm gonna push this back down into the tank, and I want to make sure that when I do that, it doesn't get hung up on the fuel level mechanism that's inside. So I'm going to use just my pick here, and I'm just going to just try to get the fuel line in the right position. So I want it to go in behind. Fuel line is in. Hallelujah. So the fuel line is in. You have to make sure that the fuel line, when it's going into the tank, that it's not interfering with your fuel level sensor. So inside the tank, especially on this machine or this model, there's a gas fuel lever inside the tank, and you don't want your line to interfere with that. So just make sure that there's no interference. Now I'm going to try to install a clamp on this side of the line, just like so. And what I want to do is to see if I can get this clamp to get up in this area here. Okay, because this is essentially going in the tank, and I don't want the pipe or the hose to disconnect off this fitting. So I'm going to try to get this, see if we can get this over here. And that doesn't look like that's going to work either. If I go maybe, actually there's got to be a technique. If I put this on like this, and I put this on like this. Oh, folks, maybe we got something here. Move it on. Move the pipe, move it over the pipe, keep pushing. Bingo. There we go. So, guess what? Now, we got to see if this is going to get, if this will get inside the tank though. I have a feeling that these metal tabs are not going to allow that to happen. And that is correct. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a pair of side cutters, and I'm going to attempt at cutting these tabs off. Just there, folks. So I cut those tabs off. So it's still clamping down nicely on the tank. I think there's still a little bit of interference there. Let me use, now if I use my needle nose pliers, maybe I can bend those high points down. Oh, without, and make sure you don't damage the, there. That's gonna work just fine. All right, so that's going to work. So before oh dear, we got fuel coming out. So before I put that in, because that's a brass fitting that's screwing into plastic, I'm just going to use a little bit of Teflon tape, but this Teflon tape is meant for petroleum products, so this is the yellow, so for use in threaded joints of metal pipe not exceeding the size, in assemblies handling gasoline, petroleum oils, natural gas. So this should do fine in this application. And you want to install this so that when you thread the fitting on, it tightens. So as I turn the fitting, it won't unravel the tape as I turn the fitting. So you have to make sure that when you install this Teflon tape, you pay attention to the direction. So as I turn this on, it won't unravel the tape. Now again, we're threading this into a plastic gas tank. So make sure you don't cross thread. Just doing a visual on this, folks, to make sure that I'm going in straight. And once you're in, then take your, I'm going to take my 9/16. Okay, so now the fitting is threaded into the gas tank. Just be careful when you do that, you don't over tighten or you don't strip the fitting. It is just plastic threads that are in the gas tank, so just use common sense and make it, thread the part all the way in, but don't over tighten or don't strip. So now that's in, I'm just gonna go ahead and reinstall the fuel line over top of the fitting, just like that. And I'll move my hose clamp over. I'll use a proper pair. And there you go. That's done. So if you follow these directions, you will be able to do the same repair at home. So with that, thanks for joining us and stay tuned to our next video.